Oh my goodness, what is up everybody? It's Swacer back today, and this video is going to be our breakdown slash review for episode 8 of Star Wars The Bad Batch, titled Reunion. Holy cow, was this an amazing episode. I think it's my second favorite right after the premiere, and yes, we are going to talk about that huge reveal at the end of the episode. Spoiler warning ahead. So, if you haven't seen the episode, definitely don't watch this video. We're just going to jump right into the spoilers. First and foremost though, guys, let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments. I was absolutely losing my mind. Like, the beginning of the episode and the middle was like really awesome as well, but then that ending, I think we all know what we're talking about, what I'm talking about. It was absolutely chef's kiss, amazing. You know what, let's just get right into it. We're going to go through the whole episode, and then we're of course going to talk about that massive reveal. So stay tuned, let's get to it. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so long story short, this episode opens up with the Bad Batch. They're still on the planet Braca, and they're trying to find some supplies so that they can sell it off and pay off the debt that they have with Sid. You know, they're trying to find intel, just other supplies, weapons, you name it. But then, of course, Crosshair and his men show up as they're hunting them down since the Scrapper Guild notified the Empire of their presence there on Braca. Speaking about Crosshair's men, I thought it was a really cool detail that when the clones communicate to each other in this episode, they don't refer to each other by name. They only use their CT numbers now. Essentially, they have lost all of their personality. We saw this in like the first episode with the premiere, but I really like how they're emphasizing that. Now, of course, by this point in the episode, we've already gone back to Kamino. We go and visit it twice, I think, in the episode, and I really like what they're doing here, because I think they're setting up some betrayal-type scenario with the Kaminoans and the Empire. I think it's very clear that Lama Su just has no trust in the Empire, and, you know, they're talking about the contingency plan, and I think something's going up here, and I think it's going to be probably, like, the big finale. I think something is going to happen with the Kaminoans versus the Empire towards the end of this show. Now, I could be wrong because I believe that the last batch of original clone troopers became the Purge troopers that we see in Jedi Fallen Order. They went through special training to be able to take out the remaining Jedi, but who knows, I still think there is a very strong possibility that the Kaminoans could betray the Empire by the end of this show. And this is actually something that happened a little bit in Legends material. There was a Kaminoan uprising. Essentially, the Kaminoans bred their own clone army to combat the rising Empire. However, once the Empire and Palpatine found out, they dealt with it very quickly, and the Kaminoans lost. But I think this would be really cool to translate into the current canon. Okay, and next we're just going to skip right to the big reveal. Cad Bane is back, baby. He is alive. Oh my goodness. At first I was like, alright, maybe they're going to show Cal Kestis. I didn't think he was actually going to show up. And then no, it was freaking Cad Bane, and it was so freaking awesome. Like, as soon as he started to talk, I was like, that's Cad Bane. Oh my gosh. And then the camera rose, and it was him, and he's got a new hat now, and it's like a little bit smaller than the Clone Wars, but he's got his toothpick. And like, as soon as he showed up too, it went from Star Wars to Western, like with the flip of a switch. It was just so freaking cool. And the way he's talking with Hunter, and he's like, I've killed many clones before, and Hunter's like, well, you're up for a surprise, and he's like, I doubt that. And it was just so freaking, it was just awesome. Like, oh my goodness, Cad Bane. And for those that don't know, like, this is a pretty big deal too, because he was actually supposed to die. It wasn't canon because this was from an unreleased arc of season 7 of the Clone Wars, but he actually had a duel with Boba Fett, and they would do essentially the same thing that would, you know, happen in this episode with Hunter. They would fire at the same time, and Boba Fett would actually wind up killing Cad Bane. Cad Bane would give Boba Fett the dent in his helmet, but obviously that is not canon. It was never released, and so they've kind of repurposed that into this for the Bad Batch, and it was so cool. Now, Cad Bane showing up in the Bad Batch is very cash money, but what is not cash money is the fact that he shot Hunter right in the chest and has stolen Omega. Also, Crosshair has been burnt like a frickin' fried chicken, so we got 2 members of the Bad Batch down for the count right now, although I guess Crosshair's working for the Empire. He's kind of been a jerk lately, but that's not his fault. It's because of the inhibitor chip. I actually kind of thought that they were going to try and take his chip out this episode while they were still at the Venator, but I guess they really didn't have a chance to do that. Crosshair's men were kind of outnumbering the Bad Batch, and they didn't really have a chance to get near him, but I still feel bad for him nonetheless. So we got 2 members of the Bad Batch down. Hunter has been shot right in the chest. Omega has been stolen, so I guess that's a third one. And then Crosshair, he is gone Anakin style with the ventilator and the burn marks all over him. Also, not gonna lie, I kind of thought that Hunter was going to die this episode. I was like, they did not just do that. And then luckily he did not. He was alive. Alright, so that was episode 8 of Star Wars The Bad Batch, titled Reunion, and we are officially halfway through this season, and oh my goodness, is this show really starting to pick up. It is getting really exciting. I cannot wait to see where the rest of this show takes us. We still have 8 more episodes to go. I'm assuming that they're probably going to go and try and rescue Omega in the next episode, or maybe not the next one, but at least build up to doing a rescue mission. I'm assuming that, Omega was taken back to Kamino for the Kaminoans, and it's going to be really risky to try and save her if that's where she's at, considering the amount of clones and the Empire's presence there. But also, I think that the Bad Batch are probably for the next episode going to try and recruit some help, and I'm going to assume that they go back to Ord Mantell to Sid and probably recuperate there. And one last thing, I really hope that Captain Rex shows up to help the Bad Batch rescue Omega. I feel like it'd be a huge missed opportunity for him to just show up in one episode and not return at all this season. I mean, he's just such a fan favorite character, so I don't think that's going to happen. I think that we can see Rex at least one more time, but I'm hoping we see him in the next episode. I feel like the Bad Batch would probably call him for support as they go to try and rescue Omega. Overall, I'm definitely giving this episode a 10 out of 10. It was absolutely amazing from start to finish, but especially the finish because Cad Bane's return was easily the highlight for me, and I think most of the people that watched this show, it was just absolutely incredible. Pure epicness. But seriously, like, this show keeps getting better and better, and I cannot wait to see where it takes us. So it's 10 out of 10 for me. This is probably my second favorite right behind the premiere, and like I said, I just can't wait for the next couple of episodes. We got 8 more to go. We're halfway through. But guys, let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and may the Force be with you all. Always.